Is Prince William the Prince of Pegging? That is a rumor that's going around social media right now, and I'm going to tell you why I think that rumor is not only completely and totally bogus, but shows that Harry and Meghan are in a really bad place. Hello and welcome to Royal News Network. My name is Brittany, and on this channel we talk about everything related to royal, so that's news, gossip, fashion, jewelry, television shows, movies, and history. We do it all right here, so if you want to subscribe, that would be fantastic. And like I said, have you heard this very strange rumor? And this, I mean, it's trending on Twitter and it's just so weird. It's Prince of Pegging, and everybody's saying that this is related to Prince William. So pegging, I will not go into describe what it is. If you want to, you can Google, and I mean, I Google with an immense amount of caution, by the way. Like, put it in Wikipedia or something. I don't know. Because if you put it, or maybe just Google Prince of Pegging and somebody else will explain to you what it is. Because I really don't suggest you put this in your search engine. But, so it is kind of related to this sexual activity. And somebody from this kind of salacious blind gossip site put it up on there. And it's just really gotten a lot of people a Twitter and a like. And I'm seeing it on, you know, even The Cut from New York Magazine. It like has a whole detailed section about this ridiculous story. But if you haven't heard, it goes back to Des Moines, a kind of a salacious blind gossip thing on Instagram. So it used to be, I guess, it used to be kind of gate kept, so you had to request to follow it. Now it is open, and apparently they said some very rare royal gossip. And honestly, you guys, I don't think, it's just so terrible. But let me read it to you. This is so salacious, it says. I'm almost too shook to share with you, but will anyway. This British royal's extramarital affair is an open secret in London and amongst the English aristocrat set, and is the talk of every party and news desk. At a recent media party, I was told the real reason for the affair was the royal's love of pegging, which the wife is far too old-fashioned to engage in. The wife doesn't mind her, and in fact prefers her husband getting his sexual needs fulfilled elsewhere, as long as things don't become emotional, which was the case with the last woman. So this is in reference to this kind of very much this rumor, which started with The Sun, and The Sun has actually pulled down this article. You can no longer find this article, that Prince William was having an affair with this woman named Rose. She is the Marquess of Cholmondeley. Yes, I actually had to look it up. I believe that's correct, but I know if I'm wrong, some people will correct me. But her name is Rose, and she was a former model, and she, you know, just does bear some similarities to Catherine, the Duchess of Cambridge. But this rumor came about that these two women had a falling out. And what people attributed this to is that Rose had an affair with Catherine's husband, Prince William. But there's never been any evidence to this. It's just been basically vicious rumors. I mean, people have said that, you know, it's the talk of the newsroom and royal things, you know, royal newsrooms across the country. You know, personally for me, I'm not entirely sure that I buy this, but this rumor has been just going out and churning again and again and again. People go back to this all the time. And to me, it's just like there's never been any evidence of this. When it comes to Diana and Charles, there was a lot of evidence that both of them had affairs. You know, especially Charles. I mean, they got him on the phone talking about how he wanted to be a Tampax for, you know, his now wife, the Duchess of Cornwall. And you know, you have actual evidence of this, but there's literally nothing but vicious rumors about this engagement. It got so bad that Catherine and William and Rose and her husband both threatened legal action over this incident because it just got so nasty. And, you know, apparently the women are, you know, maybe were friends and are no longer. Catherine and William actually went to an event at their house once, and oftentimes Rose goes to state dinners. And one time she had to have like almost a separate entrance to kind of avoid the clash because the rumor just kept going around and around and around. It just has absolutely refused to die. And I think I know why. And I've kind of avoided doing a video on this rumor because I think it's just a rumor and I think it's ridiculous to perpetuate it. However, this pegging thing is starting to get a bit more into the realm of, attacking a man who has 3 young children and who, from all indications, is in a very happy marriage. I haven't seen any indication, to me to think, I mean, obviously people do think behind the scenes. There's been a well-documented track record that royals have affairs, the aristocratic set has affairs. And so, it wouldn't necessarily be a total surprise to me. But I feel like every time I see Catherine and William, they're in an exceptionally good place. I don't know if I would say that in the beginning of their marriage. There were a lot of rumors, and I know people have attacked and said, no, this is not true. I'm just telling you guys the rumors is that William in particular, oh gosh, I can't remember her name, but she's actually a half-sister of Cressida, and that was who William kind of had a huge crush on for a while, and she eventually went with Sam Bronson, the son of the Virgin Mogul founder. And so William did apparently kind of want to pursue her, but ended up with Kate. And there's been a lot of talk, basically, again, just rumors that William perhaps maybe settled a bit with Kate and would have preferred, Isabella is her name, would have preferred Isabella. Again, I can't say any of the veracity of that, but every time I see Catherine and William, their marriage looks stronger than ever, really. So that there's this just kind of vicious churning of this rumor that refuses to die without any evidence. I mean, it would be one thing if there were pictures of Rose and William together, going to lunch or something like that. Or it's just, to me, I would see that and I would get more concerned, but we have literally no pictures of them except for at official events. So yes, they could be hiding something, but I also just think, I'm like, what? So why is this being churned up again? And I think it's kind of simple. I think this is Sussex stands. I think this is a Sussex Squad. And they are latching on to this rumor that has no basis in any evidence because things are not going well for their idols, Harry and Meghan. So last week, Harry went to the UN to give this speech, which he was kind of universally ridiculed for. The auditorium was basically empty. I mean, some people said they basically got janitors in there to fill the seats. I don't know if that's true, but I could kind of see it. There was nobody there. And even recently, like within the last couple of days, the judge who wrote the decision recently regarding abortion, he actually made fun of Harry. So listen to this little bit of his speech here.
A few weeks since I had the honor this term of writing, I think, the only Supreme Court decision in the history of that institution that has been lambasted by a whole string of foreign leaders who felt perfectly fine commenting on American law. One of these was former Prime Minister Boris Johnson, but he paid the price. Post hoc ergo propter hoc, right? But others are still in office. President Macron and Prime Minister Trudeau, I believe, are too. But what really wounded me was when the Duke of Sussex addressed the United Nations and seemed to compare the decision, whose name may not be spoken, with the Russian attack on Ukraine.
So that was Justice Samuel Alito, and I just think that, Harry went from being the most popular royal to being a joke. A man who stands up there with supposedly great authority and talks to an empty room. And also, so many people picked up on Harry and Meghan's just very, very weird PDA. Her grabbing him after he lets go of her hand. She grabs it, she drags it over to her lap and, kind of holds it in both of her hands. It was very, very awkward looking and struck a lot of people as, okay, that's not what normal loving couples do. And then that evening, so, they had 3 things. Meghan changed outfits, had 3 different outfit changes, especially for lunch. She didn't need to change her outfit. I don't know why she did, except for she wanted to show off that she has ugly Ann Taylor level Dior Bermuda shorts that she paid $400 for. I have a whole video planned on that, by the way, because it's still just, it just irks me to death because I do love Dior. I think they have great looks most of the time, but Meghan can't style worth a darn. But anyways, Meghan and Harry went to dinner later, and Meghan basically wore a copycat of a dress Kate wore like 2 months ago. I mean, Meghan's was a jumpsuit, but like the cut and everything and the look was exceptionally similar. And so I'm just looking going, what are you doing? You know Catherine wore this to a movie premiere. Like, why are you trying to compete with her? Are you kidding me right now? It's just was such an obvious ploy to try to gain attention and try to compete with her sister-in-law in a space where she would lose, like, epically. So I feel like the Sussex Squad, they're seeing all this. Harry and Meghan last week was just a slew of bad news for them. They've been laughed up. They've been ridiculed. Things aren't going well for them in the business sense. They have nothing for Spotify. They have nothing for Netflix yet. I mean, there's a lot of rumors, but Meghan's podcast was supposed to come out this summer. It's, well, you know, a couple days till August, and we still have no news about if a podcast is going to drop at all. And again, I go back to this again and again. Podcasts are not hard. Podcasts should be fairly easy to produce. You know, it does take time, it does take energy, but she has the people to do all the bits and pieces for her. She just has to interview someone. Like, it's not rocket science. It's not like doing something on film. Like, filming these takes me a bit longer because I always have to make sure my hair is kind of okay, and then I've done my makeup pretty well. So I'm not like, you know, I'm not probably the best made up or anything, but I do, you know, try to at least put on a good face, a good look. I have to choose, you know, an outfit, a shirt, or a dress, whatever. And so there's no real excuse for that. So, and we have the Tom Bower book coming out as well. And the Tom Bower book, I've been doing long form reviews on that. I just still have 2 more to do, and I'll be working on that after this. But, you know, things just aren't going well for them. Tom Bower very much throughout his whole book kind of dismantles the Sussex myth. And granted, he gets a couple of the facts wrong. One time he calls Omid Scobie Omar Scobie instead, and there was a couple of, you know, kind of instances, but I think he really does a good job of examining, you know, kind of the myth that Meghan laid out, which so many of us just struck us as wrong from the get-go, from the engagement interview. I mean, for everybody, there was kind of a red flag moment where it's like, oh, that just doesn't make any sense. For me, it was almost immediately. Because for me, you know, when I kind of heard, and I don't know exactly what it was, but one of the things that really struck out to me is that they kept saying she was this very successful actress. And I'm like, but she was on Suits. And I hadn't heard of her, and I follow Hollywood pretty closely. And so I even know, I've heard a lot. I mean, I've read all the articles, or a lot of the articles on Game of Thrones, and I have not watched that thing since 2011. I started watching it a bit, and then I just decided it was kind of too violent for me. And I like, if I want to read violent stuff, I read history books that like things happen to real people. I don't need to watch fake things happen to fake people. That's just something that I don't really want to do. But anyways, so it's like I keep up with what's going on in Hollywood quite a bit, and it's like, I had never heard of this woman. So why are you telling me she's successful? You're telling me she's an angry, horrible bosses? I own that movie. I saw the movie twice in theaters within 2 days, and I don't remember her at all. So it's like, I knew that was misleading, that was a lie. And then just like, you know, her not following royal protocol, like all these different things kept adding up. And I was like, there's something very wrong here. And Tom Bower does a good job, I think, of outlining that and highlighting how Meghan, her whole focus was being famous, and making as much money possible, regardless of who she hurt along the way, whether it was family members, friends, her husband's family, her husband's life. Everything was a casualty for Meghan's ambition to be as famous as possible, doing as little as possible. So I think the Sussex fans are really starting to kind of panic. They know things aren't going well for their idols because they idolize Harry and Meghan. For what? I have no idea. Because to me, there's just been, I mean, I love the Invictus Games. I actually have gone to the Invictus Games. I went in 2016. It was a wonderful event, and I would love actually to support it again. But because I don't know how the money is being spent, I can't really support it anymore because I don't know if Harry and Meghan are making kickbacks on that. And I disagree with that. I feel like it should be something totally separate from them. And if they're going to go there, they should be clear that they're not making any money. They're not, they're not charging a fee for attending, which was the rumor, which I totally disagree with. On just the principle and the foundation, because it should just be a charitable endeavor to help military spouses, military members and their spouses. That should be all that it is. So I just think there's just a lot of questions about Harry and Meghan. And I think their fans, because they are so attached to them, so in love with them, so believing that Harry and Meghan are like these perfect people who can do no wrong. They are saving the world because they've told us that. And by the way, anybody who tells you that they're going to save the world, you should just walk out and ignore them for the rest of their life. Nobody can save the world. The world is really unsavable in a way. There was a savior, but it's not Harry and Meghan. You know, so looking at all this together, I think the Sussex fans is like, okay, so if we can put pressure on William, I mean, they try to get that Prince William had an affair hashtag going as much as they can on Twitter. They keep trying to force, you know, Catherine and William down to prop themselves up, to prop up their idols, because their idols can't do it by themselves because they're failures, they're laughingstocks, they're jokes. People think they're ridiculous, they're unmanageable, they're kind of terrible bosses, like all these different things. There's actually, I think, I can't remember now what it is, but it's one of those logical fallacies. So if you're kind of debating somebody, you know, ad hominem is one of those. So that means if somebody doesn't like your argument, they attack you as a person rather than attacking the argument. You know, people do that to me here on this channel sometimes all the time. They attack me saying, well, you know, you're not as pretty as Meghan. I was like, did I ever say I was as pretty as Meghan? No. So you're attacking me as a person instead of attacking my argument. Ergo, you agree with my argument because you can't attack it. That's actually what I did say to somebody at one point, because I was like, it's just so annoying, because it's like you're not even listening to the argument, you're just attacking me rather than looking at what I'm saying. Anyways, so Harry and Meghan, again, they're and I don't know if, you know, it's probably partly Sunshine Sachs. I'm going to do a whole video on this because Sunshine Sachs turned the golden goose into a giant turd with Harry and Meghan. They have wrecked them. They've helped Harry and Meghan wreck themselves. Sunshine Sachs gave horrible advice, horrid advice, and because they didn't understand what the monarchy was, they gave them advice that would work for a celebrity, but wrecked anybody who was trying to be in the monarchy, because their whole deal was to make money. And I don't think Harry and Meghan are making much money. So what do? You go again. Prince William is having an affair. Not only is he having an affair, he likes pegging. So they have to make it worse, because they have to make it worse to make themselves and their idols look better. But it's not going to work because it's so ridiculous. Nobody believes it. There's no proof of it. Yes, it gets attention, which it should not get, by the way. Yes, it gets focus on it. But at the end of the day as well, we should all look at and be concerned that a father who has 3 young children and a wife is subjected to these vicious rumors with no basis in reality. I mean, again, it's one thing for Prince Charles to actually say the ridiculous things he said on the phone in private, it was in private, to his girlfriend at the time, Camilla, and had those recorded and posted for the world. You know, that is hugely embarrassing, but do we have any evidence at all that Prince William is into pegging? No. But, you know, if you want to tear somebody down, you know, you go after the most ridiculous things. And the fact that they're upping the ante shows the desperation, shows how much things are failing for Harry and Meghan. And so that's why I kind of decided to do this video today, because I was kind of debating. I was like, do I really want to address this ridiculous rumor that I know is ridiculous, that I know is wrong in so many ways? But I thought it was really important to just share as well that, you know, Harry and Meghan, nice try, but nobody's buying it. And maybe they didn't, you know, in particular, you know, tell anybody to do this rumor, but their stands, their fans, this is what they think helps Harry and Meghan. No, it doesn't. And, you know, they may try to portray William and Catherine as having a bad marriage, but, you know, we all saw kind of the warning signs that something isn't quite right with Harry and Meghan. It was right in front of the world. Everybody saw it. That things just didn't look right. Harry did not look happy. Harry didn't even smile. And Meghan's grinning. And so we all kind of see the truth. So this lie and this narrative that they're trying to push, it doesn't work anymore. It doesn't cut it. Well, guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. And by the way, I'm still going to be working on kind of trying to finish up the rest of this series about the Tom Bower book. And again, I just find it super, super fascinating to see him kind of go through these things. And kind of the next focus for this next video will be on how Meghan really tried to monetize the monarchy. And it just, I think, has completely backfired in her face. And obviously that extended into after, mixed in and everything, but they're really trying to do it before. And also as well, what came up again and again was controlling. And we saw evidence of that at the UN. So anyways, guys, thank you again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.